Pre-recorded live from Sin City, it's the Derek Luna Show. This week, the Derek Luna Show jokes at the World Series of Comedy. But now, he bet on black, and he never looked back. It's Derek Luna. That's correct, we're here at beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. The sun's getting ready to go down. We are in the middle of a Friday prelim round, semifinals, I believe they're called. So make sure you like and subscribe. Enjoy this video. Tons of fun, tons of laughs. Hello there. Derek Luna, host and MC for the World Series of Comedy 2024. We're here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada for the opening of the 2024 World Series of Comedy season. Las Vegas, Nevada, the place where dreams truly do come true. And I got to sit down with a man who works every day to try to make dreams come true for comedians all across the country. His name's Joe Lowers, and he's the founder, CEO, and owner of the World Series of Comedy. And when I sat down to have this chat with him, what he said to me was revelatory, to say the least. You know, I don't think it's just the seriousness is too much. These aren't even real glasses. These were prescribed to me by Party City, guys. Joe's a fun guy. He's a hell of a nice guy. You know, when he's not being such an asshole. But he's my new boss, and I couldn't be more excited to be here. I got a chance to sit down with him, and he's got some interesting stuff to say, guys. Check it out. Okay. Is it going to be all right?
Yeah.
So I'm here with Joe Lowers. It's the first time he's held a microphone, apparently. I'm here with Joe Lowers, the CEO / founder /
keep it coming.
owner / guru.
Yeah, anything else.
Yogi of the World Series of Comedy.
Yogi, yeah, I think you went too far.
Yes, that was one step over.
Yeah, I wanted more, but not, I don't think I wanted to go that route.
Joe Lowers from the World Series of Comedy. Let's start here.
All right.
With some plugs. TheWorldSeriesOfComedy.com.
Yes.
Go check it out. Go get registered,
Yeah,
right?
if you're not registered yet, you should. It's a fun time.
Yeah, absolutely. We're here. It's the first of 12 satellites.
10 satellites this
10
year.
satellites.
We've done 12 in the past, but we cut it back because we're doing the WSOC recording shows.
We've added recording
six of
shows.
those. So we're doing 10 satellites this year.
10 satellites. This is the first one. We're in Las Vegas, Nevada. Everybody's excited.
Yep.
We're here on the preliminary round.
It's going good. Going pretty good.
Yeah, it's exciting.
And the club's great. LA Comedy Club, they're just absolutely wonderful. They treat us great. We start here and we end here.
Back at the main event in September.
The main event,
I wanted to say right off the top, just thanks for the opportunity. This is my first year with the World Series, and ever since I met you, all you've done is I've just watched you hand out opportunities to
I
to a
try.
bunch of comics.
Yeah, I try. I'm about ready to take your opportunity away.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's the first week. We've made a lot of mistakes, guys.
There's always mistakes.
There's a contest with me, Hannibal, and Val where we were talking. We were like, "Who's made the most?"
You're winning, Derek.
I've made
easily.
the biggest ones, I believe.
Yeah.
But
and those probably count for more than one.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
Val's like, I've made a lot, but they've been very small
Very small
mistakes.
ones, yeah. So, I mean, if we probably will have to set up some kind of chart.
Yeah, a point system or something.
Yeah, the only way to keep it fair.
Yeah.
Because I need to know who I really need to yell at.
In the interest of fairness.
Yeah, and I want to know. I don't want to yell at you if Val is actually beating you.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Just thinking about it, you're winning clearly.
They've been big ones. They've been some pretty
clearly
big.
winning.
Okay, and especially since I'm in charge of the recording shows.
Yeah, and
for the most part.
I mean, this probably isn't even working.
It might not be.
Yeah,
Who
we're
knows?
sitting here doing all this shit, and then you'll get done, and they'll be like,
there's no audio.
I forgot to turn the audio on this one, too.
Yeah. That's the magic of technology with me. I've got the reverse of King Midas's touch. So we're here in Vegas. You're no stranger to Vegas.
Nope.
You used to live here. You used to have the Joe Show.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
I lived here for 15 years. I moved out here to try to do my show and not travel around the country anymore as a road comic, because that's a hard life. That's kind of what this festival is about, is trying to help comics get work, to do all that hard work. And I moved out here, and I got my show going. I had it for 10 years. I was a couple different locations, and I did it. I was doing it 5 nights a week. Was it 5? Maybe 6 nights. I think 5 nights a week. And it was fun. I mean, I had a sound guy, and it was just, I was trying to turn it into a really crazy Vegas show, and I used to have a juggler.
Bob was telling me about your guy Mike, who...
Yeah, Mike's incredible. My old sound guy, Mike.
You say sound guy, but they were like, he was a part of the show.
I was talking to him this week when I was out here, and I said I never really considered it my show, even though it's called the Joe Show. He was just a big part of it, and he would come in early, and there's so much technology now that I tell him all the time. Like, I just bought a little... what's that little thing I was talking to? Anyways, like a push button thing you can use on the stage. Just all this stuff that you can do to make it easier. He was using like a S-video cables and a switcher, and sometimes if something wasn't going good, you would hear the click, click, as it's clicking from screen to screen, just to get the stuff from the computer. He had music. It was fun. It was silly. I had a juggler that would just come out and juggle.
A real wild Vegas style.
Yeah, and just leave. I just wanted the audience to leave and go, why was there a juggler?
A heavy dose of absurdism.
Yeah. Anything I could think of. I didn't care. Other comics would show up, and I would stop my show in the middle of my show and let them go up and do some time. And
that's great. How wild.
I would see like other, because this is Vegas, and there's always people traveling in, and I knew a lot of the comics and the headliners that were coming in, and they'd stop over to my showroom to say hello. And I would be on stage. I'd look up and I'd be like, "Oh, there's so and so. He's great. He's over here at this club. You guys want to see 10 minutes?" And I'd just stop my show and bring them up.
That's great.
And go back to my show. So yeah, that happened probably once a week or something like that.
That sounds wild. You said 15 years in Vegas.
15 years in Vegas, and then my show ended, and it's a lot of work. I was the small fish, producing the whole thing myself, and while that was going on, I was producing the World Series of Comedy. Because we started here in 2010 in my showroom, then we jumped around a couple different places, as everything does out here in Vegas. It just always jumps around. And then I decided, you know what, I can do this from anywhere. So I moved back home to be near my family, take care of my mother and father, and just produced a festival from Pittsburgh, and it's working out great.
Yeah, by then you know everybody all across the country. So.
Yeah, and so we got the 10 clubs this year that we're going to, which are all great clubs. It's just really, really cool. They're going to be fun places to go. And then we have all the WSOC recording shows that we're doing, which is insane. So
I'll do a brief explanation how this works. Correct me if I'm wrong. So it's a point system. There's satellite shows all across the country.
Yep.
You get points for entering your video. You get points for showing up to a satellite, making it into a wild card round. Everything is accumulating points towards the main event. Mm-hmm. In September, which is right back here.
Yeah, that's the goal. Any comic who is even thinking about registering, if you're thinking about registering because you want to win this thing, I would say keep your money. That's not why you should do it.
That's great advice. Yeah. I wasn't in that boat first go around.
Everybody wants to win, of course.
Yeah.
We're all competitive, and you should try to win. You should be trying.
Yeah.
But you don't have to, that's not why you should register for the festival. You should be registering to network, to hang out, to get to see the industry. The main event has been described as a job fair for comics, not by me, by other comics.
Yeah.
Like, they have told me this, and I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, it seems so valuable, even beyond just whatever the first grand prize is. Of course, everybody wants that, but
the comics who win, they get the work.
Yeah.
They win the work, and they win other things. What excites me is when we're at the main event or anywhere, and a comic comes up to me and goes, I didn't move on. I got a week of work. I just was hanging out with this club owner at the bar, and we got to bullshitting, and I'm getting work. I had a comic this week come up to me, and he texted me after he got home and said, this was the best week of my life. The club owner came up to me and said he wants me to come back.
Yeah.
And he didn't advance.
It's crazy. I've had a similar experience. Yeah, what is it? You get a weekend of work for the grand prize. I think anybody who's in that main event has got to be getting more than that just for being
I mean,
there.
if you hang out and you're around, it can't happen. There's things, and we just keep adding more industry. We got a lot of college industry coming out. We got a lot of cruise people, cruise directors and stuff that have been coming out. It keeps getting better every year.
Yeah,
it's funny because I mean, it's weird. I'm just a comic. I've been doing comedy for a long time. I just wanted to help other comics. I always say I can't take all the gigs, so might as well try to help somebody I know or like or whatever get that other gig.
Yeah, that's what I said about you.
That's kind of how I've always been, even before I was doing this, and that's where the whole festival came from. I was like, well, how can I help people? I don't know. I get it. This is only comics will understand this. When you perform and you come off that rush, you can talk to anybody else. If they've not been on stage as a comic, they don't know what that feeling is.
Yeah, it's
only
wild.
Us. I get almost that same feeling from helping comics. It's a drug. I don't know. It's weird.
I can imagine that.
I really get a rush when somebody's like, when I see the excitement, when I see them doing well, it's a ton of fun, man.
And I see it every night. We go out after each round to a little dinner get together with all the comics.
That's one of my favorite things.
It's like a seminar that's going on. You're giving tips to everybody. You're helping people out. I mean, just in how to help make their videos better, how to make their performance on stage better.
Yeah, it's fun, man. I like it.
And not just you, but hanging out with the whole crew.
Correct. I was just telling Ira Summer last night. We were talking with Rick Jean about his set. I was talking to him about it and stuff. And then Ira chimed in and was giving some feedback. And then after Rick had left and stuff like that, I said to Ira, I go, hey, thanks, man. I go, because I know you probably wanted us to talk about your show or learn about some things and stuff like that. But I really appreciate that you put input into somebody else's. And that's what I see a lot of comics. There's a lot of bullshit out there, but not in this festival. They kind of weed themselves out.
Yeah.
If you come to this festival and you're an ass comic or kind of selfish or something like that, you're probably not going to keep coming back because you don't like the rules that I have in place. You don't like, you just don't want to help, so you don't want to be part of it. And I see them come. I see them register, and then they maybe come to a satellite, and then I'm like, hey, we're all going out to eat, and then they don't come out to eat. Then they send me an email going, why didn't I move on? It's like, well, if you'd have came out and hung out with us, we would have discussed all that.
Yeah.
But you didn't. You decided to be mad and leave, and then they don't come to another one.
Yeah, and you're missing out on
correct.
The whole reason to do it.
Yeah, so then, and then all of a sudden you get comics that start coming out and hanging out. Ryan Archuleta, he was in the wild card. He advanced this time, and he was getting ready to leave. He came back. He went out with us the first night on Monday, and then he came back and made some changes. It was funny. He goes, I tried some of your changes. I go, yeah, you screwed them up. And then he laughed. We were carrying on. But he went out with us again last night, and then when he was leaving, he's like, this was incredible. He's like, you got me thinking and stuff. And I'm not doing it for praise for me. I do none of this to get praise from me. But I get excited when I realize that somebody listening is trying.
Yeah.
And I don't know everything. Sometimes I give you an idea. So I've had comics that have gotten to know me pretty well, and they're like, I loved when that idea didn't work, because I'm just like, Joe thinks it should work.
Joe's face.
It's usually because they didn't do it right, but that's...
I like also that there's comics of all levels.
Yeah.
You have some guys in here who are been doing this forever, and you can see how pro they are.
Yep.
And then some other guys that are on the newer end of the spectrum.
Yep.
And I feel like everybody can get something out of it.
It's everybody can learn from everybody.
Yeah.
I have 3 hosts this year, and I feel like each one of you have a kind of a different level of comedy performance at this time in your careers.
Yeah.
And you also have a different level of ethic and like work ethic off stage of what you can do.
Yeah.
And we've had meetings, and I've said, you're all going to learn from each other.
Yeah.
And each one of you are going to become better because of what the other one, and you wouldn't be hosting for me if you wasn't willing to try to learn and get better.
Yeah.
And grow.
And that's the most exciting part to me. I mean, that I've messed up some things this week, but it's a challenge. I mean, I'm learning.
You know what you did? I know you know this, but you screwed up the audio on one of the things. I don't know what happened. We don't know. It was a mistake. But the first thing you did was you sent an email out that night to Jason and I.
Yeah.
And said, I don't know what happened. I'm sorry. That's huge.
Well, there ain't no hiding it. You guys are going to definitely.
So many comics that would hide and try to step away from that. And then we have no time to try to figure out how to fix it or whatever. So I mean, it's important that you just did the right thing.
Yeah, and I'm being challenged in all the stuff that I'm weak at, the technical stuff, all of the front of house advertising. I mean, this is the stuff I'm excited about this year to get a chance to learn. Let's talk about the growth of the World Series of Comedy, because we're doing a lot of recording shows this year. We're expanding to Sirius XM.
Yeah.
Our YouTube channel should be blowing up soon.
Yeah. Derek's taking over that. All we want is to get enough to monetize.
Yeah.
I'd like to just make 30 cents.
30 cents is a lot. It'll go a long way if you get it. If you get it every month, I suppose.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, I'm not good with math, but 30 times 12. No. Yeah. It's funny because we have all this content and all this stuff coming in, and I really wanted to. I was hoping to maybe start videoing it and maybe get some kind of channel or get our YouTube. This is a couple years ago. And John Wynn, one of my past winners, is also teaches audio video at a college stuff. And I'm talking to him about the video and stuff. And he goes, why don't you do audio first? It's easier. It's cheaper. And I'm like, I don't know. I'd like to do the video and stuff like that. So then I talked to some comics who have tracks that are being played on Sirius. And some of them are making $58 to $300 a month.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's really cool.
And it's a great credit for comics to get on stage.
So it took us a year of recording shows and watching videos, and I'd be like, well, what do I got to buy? And then they'd be like, we think we need these. And I'd go buy microphones, and we'd hook them up. And we were hooking into the board. And then Jason would be listening to the audio, and he'd be like, there's a crackling in the board.
I bet technology has even gotten better since.
Yeah, so we figured out how to handle it all ourselves. We split the mic. We get to court. Then Jason worked his butt off getting a good connection with Sirius. And they love us. They love all these tracks. And we were trying to put all our tracks together in like an album form.
Yeah.
And then at one point he's like, just send us tracks.
Yeah.
So we're about ready. If we haven't done it yet, and I'm not sure, Jason might have, we're about ready to drop about 150 some tracks from last year's event.
Yeah.
Onto Sirius.
Yeah.
So all those comics, I mean, if they play half of them, that's unbelievable.
Yeah,
that's great,
and that's a whole nother revenue stream that's going to open up.
It's a revenue
and
stream
you do
for
these
us
payouts
and
for all
the
the comics.
And it's not like we're not saying we get half, that you get half. That's the kind of standard. It's set up that way.
Yeah.
Sound Exchange, you set up an account. We're learning as we go.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, we just got like one of our first checks, and it was like $230. But the thing that made me really excited about that check was I knew $230 also went to comics.
Yeah.
So I was able to look at the list, and I could see the breakdown of how much this comic got, how much that comic got, and I was like, man, that is just so great.
It's the start of something.
Yeah, it's not much. It was like, I think the most somebody got was like $60, but I'm like, that's $60 a month that they weren't getting.
Yeah.
If they start getting that, and then if we can get them another track on there, and maybe they get 120, because now they have 2 tracks being played. I was like, that's so cool.
It's just another opportunity.
Yeah, we
as
started
it grows
giving
and gets
back
bigger.
money at 2020 to VIP Ticket Hub, which is ours, and we do tickets. And if a comic sells a ticket or a stream, we give a kickback. And since 2020, we've given back, I think it's about $9,000
Yeah.
to comics. And
That's great.
Yeah, I just love it, man. Every time a satellite ends, I see the money going out to the comics. Jason does it, and he sends it out through the PayPal to them, and I see it, and I'm like, oh man, that comic got like $200.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's so great.
Yeah, and on top of all the other, benefits of this thing, that's a great credit. I'm excited about getting a Sirius XM credit.
Yeah, it's
a guy
fun.
in my position. Like
I don't have one, and I've been doing this a long time, and now that we're doing these WSNC recording shows, I told Jason, I'm like, hey, if there's a track I want it put on there.
Yeah, that stuff helps for sure.
And I said I don't care about the money coming in from it just as much as I'd like the credit.
The little logo on the poster.
Yeah, you really can't put that logo there. Yeah, it's been fun. I said to Jason, I go, can we put that logo on our stuff for the World Series? And he's like, yeah, man. We're doing it. And I go, all right, I just want to make sure. I don't want to get in trouble with Sirius, but yeah, we're putting that shit everywhere now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think if there was anything else I missed.
Yeah, I was pretty good, right? You were worried that I was just going to gibber on and talk forever.
No, I kept my stopwatch here and everything. We've only gone for about 20 minutes.
And he was like, man, I don't know if we can do this because you won't shut up. And
you hold court at night.
I love to talk comedy.
Well, there's so much to talk about,
just love
too.
It, man.
And we're all, I was telling them, I didn't go on the last couple nights. I wasn't hosting, but I still have that adrenaline from the show.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's the same feeling.
You're part of it. It doesn't happen without you.
It's like I wasn't on stage at all, but I still am pacing around, unable to sleep.
Well, it's crazy because this is the first time I ever let Dog. I let somebody else close the shows and announce the winners. And I have to kind of let that part go.
That's your
little
baby.
bit because I'm not going to make it to all the satellites this year. And this will be the first year I'm not doing that.
We're too busy.
Yeah. And it's growing. Dog has stepped in, he's the owner of Bar Comedy USA. But he stepped in, and he's been going up and close, and he's killing it. Like just this few minutes before he...
Yeah, he's crushing it.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there going, oh. I'm happy for him, but I want to...
Those were supposed to be my laughs.
Yeah. It's just weird. Somebody walked by me the other day, an audience member. They didn't know that I was a comic or the producer of this thing, really. And they said they wanted to be a comic. It was an older lady. And I said, oh, here's my card. Check it out, whatever. And then she saw Dog's in it. It's the old, like, I'm done with you. You were really good. And I'm like, that has not happened to me in a long time. That's the worst thing for comics when somebody walks by and goes, you were great. Oh, you were good too. You can go to hell.
Well, thanks for sitting down. Thanks for doing
No problem,
this.
man. This is great.
Let's plug the website one more time. The World Series of Comedy.com.
That's it.
Get registered. This is just the first one. There's plenty of time to get on board.
Yeah, you can come to a bunch of them.
Plenty of time. I'm not supposed to advertise that way. We're supposed to. Time's running out, guys. Get on the website.
Just take your time. No hurry.
When do we want it? Next week.
Well, maybe. It's weird. We're at the first one, but we're working on the third one.
Yeah, the first 3 are already closed, right?
The first 3 registrations are already closed. I'm announcing the top 40 for the third one right now. I'm confirming everybody. Next week, another one closes.
Yeah.
Crackpots closes next weekend.
The train just don't stop. I got Dan telling me about video submissions that I got to get done.
You got to get them done.
I'm just falling further and further behind.
Yep, that's just another one I got to mark on your list of shit you're screwing up.
Okay, all right. That list is getting long.
Yeah.
He's like Santa Claus.
Yep.
All right. Well, speaking of, we do have to get to work. We got a show going up here in a minute.
Yeah.
But
as long as I keep you in here, though, there's probably less things that could go wrong.
That's a great way of thinking about it.
Yeah.
Just keep him away from the technology. Yeah. Well, thanks for sitting down with me, Joe.
You got it, brother.
Get registered, y'all. World Series of Comedy.
Cool, man. Thank you.
So there it is, and there it was. Big shout out to Joe Lowers of the World Series of Comedy, sitting with me and having a chat. Make sure you go and like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe button, and tell a friend about it. Okay, don't be so selfish. Until next time.